Alright guys, so this is probably the last video of the year, so before anything else we want to tell you guys Happy New Year's. Hopefully you guys have the opportunity to spend it with your loved ones. So if you guys haven't followed us or haven't added us on Snapchat, then I would suggest that you guys go add us there, and there you guys could actually also give us, you know, a quick message and we can probably reply to you guys quite quickly as well. One of the questions that we have from Snapchat is from our friend Gil, and he says, who do you think will win, Gervonta Davis or Ryan Garcia? What do you think? Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia?
Gervonta Davis, easy.
We haven't really seen the improvements that Ryan Garcia has made with the Canelo team, but as of right now, I feel like Gervonta Davis is probably the more experienced fighter, and I feel like overall he's a more complete fighter as of right now. Tomorrow we'll see what kind of adjustments the Canelo team has made with Ryan Garcia, but as of right now, sure, I'd give the upper hand to Gervonta Davis, but in the near future, who knows? The question is, if Mayweather does fight Khabib, do you believe Gervonta Davis will fight another UFC fighter, or do you think he'll be fighting a boxing fight again?
Well, I don't think the Khabib fight is going to happen. But if it does, hypothetically, and the question is would Gervonta Davis fight another
UFC fighter?
In a boxing match, right?
Yeah, in a boxing match, I guess.
Probably not. I don't think so.
On Instagram, if you guys haven't followed us on Instagram, it's at E1_combat. So if you guys haven't followed us there, I would suggest that you guys follow us. And over here we have, you know, a few questions. Oscar Encinas, will we ever see Brian again?
If you guys don't know who Brian is, he's Ike's cousin that won our tournament last summer, 2 summers ago, and he's been gone for a while, and he's gonna be back from vacation, and I thought we were gonna see him in videos, right?
Yeah, I doubt it, bro. Yeah, unless we like vlog on the birthday.
Oh, his birthday. He's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Most likely, we might see him like on our second channel.
On our vlog channel. Question comes from JD. He's asked, would you let me smash? I think it's inappropriate for this channel, bro.
Nasty bitch.
And then from Sosa, have any big plan goals for 2019 that is not YouTube channel related for you and Louis? Do you have anything for 2019?
Nothing planned right now. I mean, it's still a couple years from college. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, me by then 2019, hopefully I have the opportunity to move on to like a Cal State, or you know, finally move out of the community college level. That's of course the big goal for 2019, and then as of right now, not really. And the last question comes from the lady Rick, and he asks, are you happy with what you have accomplished so far on YouTube?
Yeah, we have what, 3,300 something followers. Well, I remember when we first hit the 100, we were super excited, and then I thought that honestly we were gonna die out by then, maybe like gain a subscriber a month or whatever. But now we have 3,000, and our views are getting better.
Yeah, I'm happy to an extent, just for the mere fact that honestly, when we started out, even up to this point, we barely have anything to kind of sustain ourselves. Honestly, we don't have like any financial resources. We don't have really like a lot of people really supporting us. So, you know, regardless of, you know, our financial situations, you know, like the support that we have around us, like I think that it's great that we managed to be able to get this far without really having anything, man. Like, you know, like just, you know, with our own will and drive, just to, you know, have almost 4K subscribers. I think that's great, man. That's something that I'm you know, pretty glad and happy to have accomplished. But at the same time, of course, you know, the motivation and the drive still will continue to get better and better and better. Like, that's our overall goal, to be a bigger, better channel. But overall, you know, just, you know, keep on bringing some quality, and hopefully it can help you. Hey, let's go to questions on.
All right. So speaking of DC or Daniel, all right. First one comes from DJ_FK. Our friend Daniel Calderon he asked, what has been your favorite fight so far and why? Can you break it down?
Was probably I don't know. Probably the Derek Lewis fight versus who was it? Volkov. To break it down, like, what can I say, man? Losing and
then knock him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Me, probably because it was fresh. Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway, because I haven't been that emotional. With all the fights this year, I've never been that emotional because I was a big fan of Ortega and I wanted him to win. And he did good. He held his own, but at the end of the day, Max Holloway finished him, was a better man, and, you know, eventually Dr. Status. That's, you know, happened last week. That's the freshest fight I think of earlier this year. Boxing, I guess Canelo versus Triple G too, because I was again, for that one I was really emotional. Not as emotional as the Brian Ortega fight, but still emotional because I'm a fan of Canelo. So I guess Canelo, Triple G, and Brian Ortega, Holloway, Calderon, DJ_FK. and he asks, where do you envision E1 combat going in the next 5 years?
First of all, we need to take things step by step. So, overall, the goal is to still continue growing the channel, and of course, eventually try to, get a little spot, so we have the opportunity to be working with you guys physically if you guys give us the opportunity to. So that's the direction I kind of want to go to, and at the same time build our brand.
Next 5 years, at least 100K. A spot, that's a small spot where we can start teaching people here in LA. And yes, yeah, that's it.
Next comes from DJFK, and he asked what kind of exercises can I do at home to acquire more speed, not only in my punches, but with my reaction time.
What you can do for faster, you can do faster punches, you saw this on the program, shadow box with weights, light weights.
Yeah, and if you guys don't have small weights, of course, you guys could also use resistance band, tie it to like a post or something, start throwing punches. And for reaction time, I mean, there's a whole lot of tennis ball drills that we've done on the channel that you guys could probably check out. So I'll suggest that you guys go check out some of our tennis ball drills that we have for you guys on this channel. What is something you guys don't like about fans when talking about boxing or martial arts or fighters?
Everybody claims to be an expert, and then everybody has an opinion, and then when someone else has a different opinion, start arguing. Well, they don't really have a good argument. They just like say, oh, they kind of discredit each other.
I think what I don't like about fans is when a fighter loses and they're in the comment section telling them like what they should have done. It's like that meme that everybody always posts, like, geez, why didn't I think of that?
And you remember that when Robbie Lawler lost to Tyron Woodley, one of the what do you call them, journalists asked him, hey, why didn't you just not get hit by Tyron Woodley?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When you saw Tyron come at you and you say you dropped your hands, was there any thought to maybe keeping him up because he's coming at you with the right hand?
The next question comes from Burrito Blanco, and they ask, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury or Wilder, who wins after the controversial fight? Who do you think won? So who should Joshua fight next?
Well, I'm pretty sure Tyson Fury and Wilder are already scheduled for an immediate rematch. So Tyson Fury is going to fight Wilder, and I think that Anthony Joshua will probably fight the winner. Who you think won? I honestly felt like Tyson Fury won. I know that there's a lot of controversy, and then there's been a lot of videos where time is edited to see how much of a count the referee gave Tyson Fury. And I think that overall Wilder only won like a couple of rounds, and the rounds that he did knock him down, I don't believe like he had the score to be able to tie or get a draw against Tyson Fury. People may look at it a little bit differently, but in my honest opinion, I think Tyson Fury did win that fight. Next question comes from La Única, and thoughts on the Rachael Ostovich domestic violence situation.
Oh, it's fucked up. I mean, there's no excuse for it. But I just feel bad for anybody really who gets beat, and Rachael, especially because her husband was also a professional fighter. Julian Castro. 2 questions. Who's a boxer you spent the most time studying? Can you do more videos that utilize the pull noodle work?
As of right now, just for the mere fact that, like, a lot of the times, honestly, guys, like, I like to follow certain trends just for the mere fact that that's what kind of gives us some exposure. So for the most part, if we're talking about an orthodox fighter, the person with the big name out there is of course studying Canelo. If you guys see a lot of our examples, we always use Canelo as an example. On the other hand, if I'm looking at a southpaw fighter, then of course I'm gonna go with Vasily Lomachenko, because that's like the fighters that people are more intrigued with. So I'll probably go with those 2 fighters. And can you do more videos that utilize the two noodles? Of course, man.
Ya se armó. Do you plan to train boxers your whole life, or do you plan on doing something different since you are going to school for something? By the way, what is your major?
I'm only going to be able to train boxers to a certain extent, to a certain year, to a certain age. I'm not sure right now at what age I want to stop. I do not want to spend my whole time inside a boxing gym. Of course, I love the sport and I respect it, but eventually I want to pass the knowledge to somebody else. Have something that I'm able to pass on, if I ever have kids, to my kids or my grandkids, or somebody that's close to me. So overall, no, I do not plan to train boxers my whole entire life. And as my major, what am I doing? I'm actually doing kinesiology. I'm under exercise science. I want to be able to explore other things in life, because you only get one, so might as well explore as many things as I possibly can.
I'm studying right now history, but this year, hopefully, maybe next year, changing my major to marketing.
The next question comes from Terry Larson. Will Oscar return?
Who?
Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar.
Oscar,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with his mental condition.
I'm not sure, guys. Well, as of late, Oscar was actually injured, so Oscar had a really 2 tough surgeries. So as of right now, I'm not really sure.
It comes from G Wagon Funk. Do you guys plan to get a new team to get new team members anytime soon. I saw a comment where I saw the team was looking for a cameraman, any specific work that person should be able to do. Oh, and what time do you guys start working and what days?
If you guys want to work with us, of course, just hit us up. You guys can hit us up on our personal Instagrams or any of our personal social medias. There, you guys can send us a quick message, and we get something going. If you guys want, you're able to utilize a camera, get good angles, and maybe if you guys have some editing skills, that will kind of actually be a good help. As of right now, we honestly don't have the funds, or we don't have money to pay you guys. Usually we work like on Friday afternoons, like around like 12ish. So that's probably like the only day we will actually work. If you guys want to give it a go, then of course Friday afternoons, somewhere around 1 through like 6ish. So we have that time frame to work while the sun is still out. And of course, just have some camera skills and maybe some editing skills and maybe some knowledge about combat sports as well, So we also like to give people the opportunity to, sit in our spot.
This question comes from A2C, and they ask, how do you deal with doubters, the people who think you are not good enough?
I would suggest that you guys stay focused, stay committed to what you guys do, and just pretty much ignore the naysayers. At the end of the day, even like the best athletes get criticized. Like, you guys could do everything great. You guys could do the best thing on paper and give a hell of a performance in anything that you do. And of course, there will always be somebody like not giving you guys the credit. So overall, I would just suggest that you guys just keep your mind focused, work on your mental strength. If you guys have to repeat certain things over to yourself, just so you guys could kind of accept, your own truth, like what you actually believe, then I would just suggest to do that. Ignore everybody else, man. At the end of the day, it's your life.
Then they're like, hey, what's the most important thing to look for when choosing a coach to teach you boxing or any sport?
Your coach has to be able to know the sport. Second of all, you just want to feel comfortable with your coach as well. You want to feel comfortable in the setting that you guys are working in. I think that's another big one. So make sure that like the team that you also surround yourself with is great. Not just your coach, but also like everybody around your coach.
Yeah, what I would recommend you do is, if you're trying a new sport or a new gym, if a new sport, new gym, recommend that if you have like a free trial, I say you take a couple if you can, because you can get you can almost get a feel of how they'll train you. I made the mistake of just paying up front.
345. He says, I know most of the time you guys are quiet and calm. If the day comes where you're training a fighter, but he likes talking smack and creating chaos, would you allow it? Or would you tell your athlete to follow the personality and character you have?
This kind of fits perfectly to our tournament we had a couple summers ago, where we had Ivan, who was a talker, and we honestly, for us it was good because it was good content for YouTube, and we would most likely, me personally, I would let him be him to a certain extent. He's being like a dick to me, or like a dick to like everybody else, and just like making training hard for everybody else, and I would kind of tell him to tone down. But no, I wouldn't ask him to take my personality, the character I have. I would want him to be himself, want him to be comfortable to a certain extent. Of course, if it's affecting the other fighters, affecting me, or it's just not the training sessions aren't being efficient because of his personality, and I'll ask him to not change, but at least tone it down or just keep it outside.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a fighter neither, just for the mere fact that a lot of people actually make their money off just talking smack. And besides that, like, the only thing that I would ask from a fighter, of course, is when we're training to take it seriously. That's how I would ask, and at the same time, not treat everybody around you like shit. If you're gonna play around, make sure that he or she does it on their own time and just with their opponents. But like overall, with like regular people and the people around them, of course, I would actually tell them to respect them. But of course, when they're out there and they're doing their stuff or promoting, if it ever gets to that point, and of course I'm gonna just let them be them, and that's it. But when it's my time, when I'm working, and when the people around me are working as well, and of course that whole like fucking around does have to stop.
Christina Sanchez, do you guys ever feel like quitting YouTube sports or school? Do you guys ever get overwhelmed?
It's overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. There's sometimes like I kind of feel rushed because I have to edit a video, and then on the other hand I have to do an essay, and on the other hand I still have to wash my clothes and take care of my own chores. And yeah, sometimes it does get overwhelming, but I try not to bring that whole concept of quitting. Just think about stuff like that because I'm overwhelmed. I try to think about it like that. I'm all like, like if I was like in a very calm place right now inside my mind, of course I wouldn't be thinking about it. So overall, I try not to think about quitting. Of course, like the thought sometimes does come up, but I try to erase that thought from my mind, as fast as I possibly can.
Honestly, no, because we invested so much time and energy into the channel, and we haven't really saw a return. We haven't seen a return yet, so we wasted time and we just drop everything now. So, and for school, I mean, same thing. I've been going to school for a couple of years now, and I haven't seen any returns because I have to finish first. So yeah, I don't want my time to be wasted. So I've never thought about it because I know I have to, and just don't think about it.
The next question comes from Unloaded Target. He asks, or she asks, what would you do about these boxing politics? Boxing padded records, examples, pro fighters fighting journeymen for their first 20 fights. How about the bad judging? Certain promotions not wanting to work with each other, hurting the chances to see fighters in their prime.
Boxing, the padded records I don't like. Personally, as a fight fan, but as a promoter, I understand it because that's the best. Boxing is different than MMA. MMA records don't matter as much. Of course, you have a Khabib record, and it's good to promote it, and you've seen the promos, they use it to promote it. But in boxing, it's more thing to be undefeated, like the undefeated lineal heavyweight champion. Like that sounds like the best way to promote a fighter.
The bad judging, of course, it affects every fighter, man. Boxers, MMA fighters, but in boxing, like I mentioned, the record is something that's really big. Like just losing a fight could pretty much change the trajectory of your career. So, as of the bad judging, maybe I think one of the things that we probably have to do is, of course, question the judges, man. I never really see anybody go up to a judge and interview them and say why they had the scorecard. Maybe they saw something that we didn't see, or for whatever reason, man. But like we should kind of like take those judges, to be accountable for like what they scored or what they saw. Like we need to have an explanation. So I think one of the things that we could do is, of course, start interviewing these judges, tell them like what did they see in this round or in that round, and maybe we'll have some clear answers. And certain promotions not wanting to work with each other, I mean it's kind of ridiculous. It hurts the sport, and of course it hurts the fans, and of course the fighters' credit, because then some people think that the fighters are ducking each other, and sometimes that's not really the case. It's just for the mere fact that the promotions just freaking can't work with each other, man. They freaking act like 5-year-old kids. So that's just my take on it.
The last question comes from Leo Del Leon, and he asked, I hope I'm not late. What advice would you give a little girl What advice would you give a little girl to try out combat sports? I have a daughter. She's a bit of a fighter, but she's kind of shy to go out to the gym. What can I do or tell her? What do you do? How have you dealt with kids and what? How do you deal with little kids if you train them?
As a little kid, it's really hard, like, to just have your mindset on one thing. It's really rare to, have kids that are just really in tune with one sport and just dedicated to that one sport. For the most part, as a little kid, you're exploring the world, man. You want to explore everything that you possibly can. They might not even be interested in sport. Maybe they're interested in some arts and crafts, and that's fine, man. Like, everybody has their passion, and everybody, finds some interest eventually in their life. So overall, I just would advise you not to pressure the little girl. Just let her choose. Kind of let her choose her own path.
And since she's kind of a fighter, so if she's into fighting, then yeah, she's gonna adjust to boxing settings. And how I train with kids, I have a nephew and a niece that we do wrestle and stuff. And usually, what I do is kind of I make a game out of it. So if they don't want to just like work out or just do boxing, I'll make a game out of it. So my little nephew's like creative and like aliens and zombies, so I'll incorporate aliens and zombies to boxing. Or if we're wrestling, I'll get him into like a submission or something, and then I tell him to escape, and then I'll give him confidence by letting him escape, and then he want to do it again. So you got to make a game out of it, and you want to condition them to be able to do the technique and let them feel accomplished, and 2, not going easy on them. So it's a mixture of both. So that's how I think you should train a kid.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So pretty much this is where our 2018 ends. I'm not sure the first 2 weeks of January of 2019 we're gonna have videos for you guys. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. We always try not to miss a week. We always try to get a weekend for you guys. Try to get a video in for you guys at least once a week. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen these upcoming weeks. As of right now, I kind of just want to take a break. I've been, from freaking January to December, just editing and creating. So, we haven't even took a day off. Even when I was supposed to take a day off during the summer, it wasn't even like that. I had to go to school and then come back and edit. So overall, it's just been a hassle. It's just been a crazy year these last 4 months. have been very chaotic for me, and I just just trying to keep it together here. Hopefully you guys had a great 2018. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content that we brought for you guys. Next year things are probably going to be a little bit different. We're going to adjust to what we have on our website and what's going on our channel and what's going on the Spanish channel. So there's going to be a few adjustments there that are going to be made there, and we'll see where things go from there, man. So
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys. Until next year.